Alright, so for the past 20 years, I've been helping people to be healthy naturally. And through teaching, helping hundreds of people, I've discovered a very startling truth. I've discovered that how well a person works at being healthy naturally actually has very little to do with how much knowledge he possesses about natural stuff and healthy stuff. It has a lot to do with their attitude towards being healthy. There are people out there who hardly know a thing about being healthy, zero level, and yet they live very healthy lives. I remember one of those, an old lady named, let's call her Maria. Yeah. And she was very simple, didn't finish elementary level at all. She worked in the fields whole day, every single day, and she was as strong as an ox. Her daily fare was vegetables, and about once a month she would eat about fish. A few times of the year she would get to eat meat. Usually this was during fiesta, around May, or when somebody got married. There's a wedding celebration nearby. Also, she would usually wake up at the crack of dawn, drink something warm, head off to do her chores, her field work, whatever. Basically living a very active life. She hardly got sick. So today I'd like to share with you what is so different about people like Maria. How do they do it? Keeping healthy. And second of all, why is this so important? Not only for you, but for your children. Important to your community and to the future of this country. And third of all, there's one thing you can do today if you want to be healthy, calm, happy, just like my friend Maria. Well, first of all, how do people like Maria do it? Well, to answer that question, I'll join me. I'll take you back around the time when my daughter was 3 or 4 years old. So my daughter at that time, I was trying to prod her to learn how to read. And I started to notice that my daughter's attitude or thinking towards learning how to read was similar to most people's attitude towards living a healthy life. Now, first of all, I'd like you to know that my daughter hated learning to read. She loved looking at books. But when we would start to be serious about learning how to read, she would stall, be bored, all of those things. And she actually dreaded those times when I would try to help her read her books. My daughter didn't like it because she was filled with apprehension. She was worried because it was all about not making mistakes. Now, at the time, I've noticed how a lot of people who have crossed my path, who have spoken to me at one time, or who have actually sought out my advice on being healthy, actually have this same fear inside of making mistakes in the quest for better health, and whether or not, they're worried if they might screw up. Now, the second similarity I noticed was to do with self-image. My daughter had an idea about how reading was good, how reading well looked like, sounded like. So she was aware of how, so basically she was aware how far away she was from that. Now, a lot of people who have this desire to be healthy also have this idea, this image of what healthy people should look like and how far they'd have to go to get there. And they also felt like my daughter, just bad. She felt bad at reading, so bad at living healthy, right? So, well, like some people, they want to be healthy, but like I'm really, really craving for that choco fudgy brownie right now, or it's so super hot. I really, really need that kind of ice cold soda. So even if you know that you want to live healthy, so I could see those similarities between my daughter when she was 4 trying to read, but I couldn't figure out what was it with people like Maria who can just do it, living healthy, smoothly, calmly, with confidence, not really thinking about it. But one day, I discovered the answer, and it was just by chance. One afternoon, I was at the mall and in the food court. And how food court is. Tables are always taken, so noisy. People are all talking at the same time. Well, I suddenly noticed that a table away from me, there was a chess game going on between two old men. They were so focused and oblivious to all the noise around them. All they cared about was the moves they were planning, the time it took for the next move. It was a pressure game, and how they would win. I had no idea who was winning between them, but I was fascinated at the strength of their focus. There's a small audience behind them, watching them, but they didn't care. There was no shyness, no unsure feeling, no fear of making a wrong move. In fact, it was a total opposite. Every time a chess piece moves, the player hits the timer with confidence, ping, and I'm watching them. And it hit me. I realized this is it. This is the same attitude that Maria had with her health, just like those two old men playing chess. And, when she lives her day, she doesn't spend time worrying if the meal she is preparing is healthy enough, or if she has walked enough kilometers for the day. No, she's just happy and calm and confident. No thoughts about missing something or so that she could be healthy now. Now let me give you an example that's closer. I was meeting with someone who wanted to consult with me for her health condition. She had come to me for an appointment because she said since she was not getting any younger, she was a senior citizen, and her daughters had been nagging her to take care of herself. She wanted advice on how to be healthy. Now, one of the requests I have for these type of consultations is that a food diary has to be kept and shared with me. Now, most of the time, people balk at the idea of a food diary. They say yes and give me the most general list, and I just know at a glance that there are lots of missing details in the food diary. And once I had this consultation because she was so worried about what I would say to her after she gives her food diary, she decided to suddenly change her food patterns, food choices, suddenly buying from the health food store, and so anyway, let me just clarify. I asked for a food diary so that I can build a picture of where you are at and what your food choices are, what you prefer to eat and drink, how often, how much, those details, because it really helps me understand your body, and what it needs to be healthy. I really need this so that I can help and guide you properly, toward that's really just right for you. Now, this lady whom I met, she surprisingly agreed to keeping a food diary, and wow, she was serious, like focused, and writing down each detail. What time, how many cups, how much did she drink, everything. She wasn't self-conscious at all, or worried or fearful that I would critique her food choices. No, she was focused on her goal, which was to be healthy. So we've got two different types of people who would like to pursue health. One was focused on getting it right, making it kind of ineffective, and another one who's focused on being healthy, is unself-conscious, serious, and detailed, which is really quite effective. And so why is this distinction important, not just to you, to your children, actually to the whole country? In our country, 1 in 4 people are obese. We are facing a reality where diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, kidney problems are becoming more and more common. These illnesses used to be, we used to dread them when we'd approach old age, but this is not true anymore today. Now, this problem is quite, more distinct these days because of COVID-19, when these vulnerabilities, we call them, are the ones that where the virus is easily invades people who have this sickness. And well, let me tell you another story. Just the other day, last week, I learned that one of my friends was rushed to the hospital. He had experienced chest pains, really excruciating headache. His head was breaking. It was so painful. They just rushed him to the ER, and there they told him that, oh my gosh, he just came here right in time. He had a mild stroke, and it was all that. And you know, my friend is just 34 years old. At his age, he should be in the prime health. So correctness instead of clarity. In the real world, what does really matter? Do you understand what you need? Do you understand what your body is asking you to do, so that you can go ahead and take action? Now, the problem that I see here is that people take the action of, this is how being healthy is supposed to be, separate from what the body really needs. Bringing it cut up, measured, dried, step by step, and if you're in a stressful situations, problems have been piling up, and you're trying to cope with all of these, it only adds to the burden. And your brain is super multitasking everything, and something has to break. The brain just shuts down. Now, this is what happens when you want to get a large big glass of milk tea with brown sugar, 100%, at the end of the day as a reward. You might recognize, these three symptoms of the brain shutting down. The first one is your listening ghost. Someone is talking to you, asking, hey, aren't you on a diet? Why are you getting milk tea? But you aren't actually hearing the what the other person is saying. The second thing is your speaking. Your mind shuts down and you can't answer the question. Why do you want milk tea? Just no, like that. And you just want something to relieve the tension that you're feeling. A glass of milk tea will probably be the answer. And the third thing to go is your confidence. As you drink your milk tea, your confidence is now shattered, and you say to yourself, oh, so weak. I can't be healthy. I can't hack a healthy lifestyle. Lack of confidence in your ability to succeed. So, what should you do when you want to be healthy? You just, don't focus on yourself. Focus on the result you want to achieve.